Welcome back for our second part of our trip to Machu Picchu. This right here is the line that you have to be on to get on the bus that will take you to the archaeological site of Machu Picchu. This is still at Aguas Calientes, the main town of Machu Picchu. Those green buses are the ones that we will be taking to go up to the actual site of Machu Picchu, the archaeological site. We all wait here. They do check your tickets about 2 times, I believe, before you get on the actual bus. The bus turn right there in the back, so be careful because they do get close to the people. So be careful when you stand way back there. These are actually the leaves that you need if you do get elevation sickness. So those are actually pretty good. Our guide was using them like candy. We got inside of the bus. Actually, before we got on the bus, they scan your ticket, and then the bus then started taking off. And this is the same route that we took to go to the butterfly sanctuary. It's a beautiful, beautiful ride. Unfortunately, that day when we went, as you can see, it was kind of cloudy, but even in that, it has its own set of beauty. To the left, you see the actual river. It kind of stayed that way all the way up until we go up the mountain, and it kind of goes between left and right based on how far up you go. That road is not a very wide road, so even when the buses are coming towards each other, they have to slow down a bit because the roads are not very wide. As you can see there, our driver had to kind of slow down a little bit to pass. Now, because this is also the road that people walk to get to the butterfly sanctuary, and there was something else that's over there. I don't remember what it was, but you take that same route, but you walk it because there are no buses, there are no trains, there are no cars that will take you where you need to go, except for those buses that goes up to the site. There are no other buses. Of course, there are like trucks that takes like food up, but as far as buses and like public transportation and cars or taxis or motorcycles that are inside of the town of Aguas Calientes, which is also known as Machu Picchu, there are none of that because the town is super, super small. You can do everything in like maybe 2-3 hours, like just walking around. You can pretty much do that. We just passed the lot where the buses are parked at, and I guess in the evening when they are done for the day. So throughout the day, there are the buses go back and forth. The buses that you take to go up, the bus you take to go up is not necessarily the bus you take to come back down. As you see, people on the left-hand side are also they're walking to go up. If you saw my previous video, this was the little area that I was walking in, and the bus just zoomed right by me. So if you haven't seen that video, please take a look. This is the first part of what to do inside of the small town of Machu Picchu. But this one is talking about what we did when we actually arrived at the archaeological site of Machu Picchu. This road leads you all the way to the end of where you need to turn to go up. So you reach right here and you make that left turn and you cross over to the small bridge because you're crossing over the river that was to our left side, and then you would go up to the archaeological site. Now, going up is interesting, so I'm going to tell you right now, if you're the type of person who is afraid of heights, I would say sit in the middle of the bus at the middle aisle. Don't sit on the window seats or the front or the back, because you will see the outside, and of course there's no real railing except for where the areas where the buses come down, and they actually need railing for those areas. But most part look almost like this, where it's either trees. See that little railing to the left? That's because when the bus come down, I guess if it's raining like it was earlier, or if there's mud, that they might slide off, so the railing have to stop them. But other than that, it's just the trees. So I wanted to show you guys from the top. When you're inside of the site, you could actually see down of how the buses come up. It's like a zigzag all the way up. So those clear, you can see the roads. I'm gonna zoom in. so you can see the roads and actually where the cars are coming. So that's literally the road we took to come up. So you just got to zigzag your way all the way up to the top of the mountain. That's a bus that's going back down. From, I believe we arrived there, it was pretty early, maybe about 7 o'clock we had to be there by, because, and they're very strict on time. If your time is say 9 a.m., they're not giving you a whole bunch of time after, because they do have people coming in and out. I believe there's a total of maybe about 5,000 people a day, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong, but you can look it up yourself. Google is a good place to look. So this is the site, the route that we take to go up to the site. Just wanted to show you guys how it looked from aerial view of it, and then this is actually the actual road, what it looks like as we go up and up. And of course, a lot of times the buses have to stop for each other. It was kind of foggy that day, so you couldn't really see the mountains on the other side as well. And yes, this is a 2-lane. This is us arriving all the way up. Now we're all the way on the top at the archaeological site. The people that you see with the blue vests, those are the people who work there. Please be kind to them. They're very strict about a lot of the rules that you have to follow, and they will ask you for information. You do need your passport, so please do not go up there without your passport. I don't know what they do if you don't have it, but what I do know is you do need it. Okay, so you need your passport and your ticket. Some people choose to walk up. You do not need a bus, but that's okay. They do have a bathroom there. It's 2 soles for you to go inside. However, there's no bathroom on the inside of the archaeological site. So use the bathroom first before you go, because it could take a couple hours or 2 to 3 hours before you come back out. There are 3 circuits, circuit 1, 2, and 3. We did circuit 2, which is the most popular circuit. So if you need to buy tickets, please get your tickets months in advance, because they do sell out quick. We made that mistake and we had to pay for it by paying way more than we should have paid for it. Therefore, if you're going to Machu Picchu, please buy your ticket to go to the archaeological site 2 to 3 months in advance, to save you the aggravation that we had to deal with. This is where they check your ticket and your passport. You give them your ticket, they scan it. You give them your passport, they check it. I don't remember them actually scanning your passport as well as if like when you were at the airport, but I do remember them looking at it. So then you go through this little tunnel, and that tunnel has circuit 1, 2, and 3 for you to go to. And then you kind of walk. We did 2, so we walk all the way there. So this tell you, it's circuit 2. And with circuit 1, you only go up to the aerial view and then you come back down. With circuit 3, you go up to the aerial view, but then you come down to the right way. I'm going to show you guys eventually. I'm going to show you where they come down to. Circuit 2 is the one that you do the most. You go up to where you have the money shot, the aerial view of the actual, all of the archaeological site, and then you walk the grounds of the archaeological site. So this is absolutely gorgeous. I feel like even with the fog, it was still beautiful. Now, during the month of December and March, that's their rainy seasons, and we went in December. So therefore, expect rain. So when we first arrived, this is what we saw, and it was starting to get even more foggy. So by the time we started taking pictures for a few minutes, and more people were coming up, and this was the slow season. It looked like that. We saw absolutely nothing. We could not see anything. So our guide was like, don't worry about it. We're going to take, a little while, but prayerfully the wind would kind of shift things, the fog along, so that we'll be able to see more. I know I would have been devastated if it started pouring and we couldn't see anything else. But little by little, it started to lift again. So we were like, yes, because I came to see this. This is what I came to see. I did not come to see fog. So nonetheless, it kept getting clearer and clearer until it looked like this. This was so, so beautiful. I truly believe you have to go in person to really understand what we're seeing, because it was absolutely beautiful. Those little homes you see on the right side, those were storage rooms that they have, because for people who are unaware, Machu Picchu Archaeological Site was actually a sanctuary where people used to come to when they were trying to like run away from like whatever they're running away from, whether it's the government or whatever it was. Further all the way up, I'll try to kind of allude to it a little bit. That was the temple. That's all the way up there. I don't remember what it was called, but there's a name for it. Again, Google is a good place. Go look it up because I didn't feel like having to look it up myself because for life of me, I could not remember. But nonetheless, the view from up all the way up by the archaeological by the top of the sanctuary was is absolutely beautiful. You get to see everything, all the chambers, all the places where the waters used to flow, where the storage rooms were, where the living spaces were, and everything else, as you can see just from this shot alone. So I'm going to let you guys have a minute and just take a look. It is absolutely beautiful. Although we couldn't see the mountains on the other side because of the fog, but even that have its own beauty. So I truly appreciate that. If you look on the left side, that's actually the door to the entrance of the actual sanctuary. When you are going through that door, the suggestion is that you do not touch the actual like stones, because they, of course, the more people that touch it, the more wear and tears and so forth. So they ask people not to touch, and also to try to move along, because you do have people behind you. Even though, again, this is the slow season between December and March, and we went during the season of March. During December. During December. So there was still a quite number of people there. So therefore, they kept telling us, move along, don't stop for pictures, even though we were a little stubborn, I'm not going to lie, and we did stop for a little bit to take a couple pictures. Look at all these people who were behind us. And this is like the early. We were the early birds. I think we were at 7 a.m. So you can imagine what it looked like at, I don't know, like 12, 1 o'clock. Because although you have, you come in early, people can stay for a very long time just looking around, because there's no one there to really push you along to. However, there are people there, you're not aware of it, but there are people there to make sure that you don't go backwards. You could only move forward. You cannot go backwards. I will repeat it again. You cannot retrace the stuff and say, oh, I missed something, I'm going to go back to. They won't let you. They will tell you to keep moving, because they do have people coming, and they have thousands upon thousands of people. I believe that's the reason why they have the circuits 1, 2, and 3, because they don't want this 5,000 people taking the same routes. I believe because of some of the stones were being destroyed, some were falling apart. So I believe during COVID, they started to make those rules of kind of splitting it up. So therefore, if you want to see the other part, you have to like pay more and then come back. What we're seeing all the way to the front right here, where I'm zooming in, that's where circuit 3 go down on. So basically, I think on the side, and look at the little llamas. We thought we were not going to have an opportunity to see llamas, but I will show you guys later where we were able to see them. But nonetheless, that area, those people you see right there, they're coming down from the top, and that's part of circuit 3. I'm not sure where circuit 1 come down on, because I know that they only get to the aerial view, but I'm not sure where they come down. If they come down the same area we do or somewhere else, I'm not sure. But nonetheless, I know that circuit 2 and 3, we exit in the same area, right at the bottom of where circuit 3 come down from. This is more towards the other side of where we came in. And as you can see, it's still beautiful. The mountain, there's actually a river all the way at the bottom. I believe that's the same river that we actually passed while we were on the bus. So this is on the other side. And yes, people do live at the bottom. I'm going to zoom in on their homes. You're going to see that there you go. People do live here. Therefore, we always, I was like, wait, what? So I had to zoom in, but it's like, yeah, people do live there. I was like, well, how did they get there? Because there aren't a lot of homes there, but there are people who live there. Quite a few of them, our guide told us too. Therefore, people do actually come through at the in those areas. Well, where I showed you guys before, to come up, because people actually hike 3 nights and 4 days to actually come to Machu Picchu. That's not my life. I would absolutely never. But some people do it. I believe they come from Cusco in to get to Machu Picchu. I am not about that life. If you want to know how to get to Machu Picchu, please watch my previous video. Now, all of this right here, this is still inside. This is like the bottom part where we're finally walking inside of the sanctuary itself. This is kind of like I call it the bed of it, where you come all the way down. They have steps to come down and to see that little rectangular shaped thing in the middle. Apparently, some president came and they landed a helicopter there and it broke it. And I was like, I don't know who would even think to do that, because that's an archaeological site. But somehow, some way, somebody did it and they broke it. So now no more helicopters are allowed to go in there. So I was just kind of pointing out where the Circuit 3 people come down from. So from where we were at, they were all the way on the other side. And we were right down in the middle where a lot of the chambers and ceremonies and all different things used to happen at the center area. And if you continue, when we continue walking from there, you will see some of the areas. I guess they're trying to preserve as much of the stones, the original stones, as possible. And you see, I'm going to zoom in, you'll see some people there cleaning up the stones to make sure everything gets preserved to the best that they're able to. They also have huge beams that's holding up some of the stones that's right under the temple. People used to be able to go all the way up to the temple, but now they're not able to do that anymore because the stones were falling apart. So therefore, they have things holding them up. People can no longer go up there. Now we're kind of heading towards where the exit, where actually a fork is at. When you go to this right here, I'm sorry, let's start with this. These two right here were meeting spaces where they used to have their meetings and so forth. There are two of them that kind of face each other. Right there, you will actually see where they have their little meetings. Once you pass there's like a fork. You go either exit left or exit right. If you exit left when you arrive there, that will take you to a hiking trail. Now, the hiking trail there is if you booked it. If you book the hiking trail, you exit to your left, and your guide, whomever is with you, will go with you. I don't believe they're letting anyone go by themselves. This is the door right there. You go through there, and that's where you continue with your hike. Now, we did not do, listen, we're not about that life for this trip. So we exited right. That will take you to this little space right here. You kind of climb up, and that will take you to more of the chambers, because you still have more to see. Even though you're exiting out, there's still more to see, because you will see a lot of their chambers. Like this, and these were actually living spaces that we're walking through right now. You're going to see that in a little bit. You do get a chance to see like little animals, so don't be scared. At least I don't think there were any scary animals to be afraid of. But you still get beautiful views. This was one of the chambers that I walked into. They were not. I don't think any of the spaces were very big. Nonetheless, this was still the space they used to live in. I'm not sure if those were windows or if those were they were eventually like covered up, or if they were always like this. But that's how we see it. These were more spaces that had chambers. I'm not sure if the roofs came off, or if some of them were that way for very specific reasons. Our tour guide didn't really explain that part, and I don't believe we asked either, so that's why I'm not sure. However, you can still walk all that area, take your time, take pictures, go in, come out. You still continue to see the whole space. So these are the area where you have Circuit 3 and Circuit 2 people. Circuit 1, again, I have no idea where they come down from. If you go there, I guess you have to figure it out, because we have no clue. So we got a chance to see. We believe that was a squirrel. It looked like a squirrel, so we thought it was a squirrel. We also saw some black bees. I believe that's what they were. They look like black bees. I have never in my life seen black bees. At least none that look like this. They look more like little vampires to me. But anyway, that's what I think. Nonetheless, he did show us this. This is how they used to to create their calendars by using like water and of course the sun. So that was part of their constellation and whatnot to create their calendars. Then we got kind of scared because we're like, oh my goodness, we're not gonna get a chance to interact with the llamas. Not necessarily interact, but to see them up close, because they were only where the circuit 3 people were coming down. So we like, you know what? We see them up there. Let's take our time. Let's walk and see whether or not we were going to have an opportunity to see them. So we kept taking pictures. We were calling friends. We were calling families. And we were still trying to make our way. And sure enough, there were 3 of them that started to come down from the top. So we're like, okay, let's keep hanging around and see if we can see them. There were 2, like this one right here. There was a baby and like 2 full-grown llamas, and they were just kind of hanging out. And we would thought, you know what, that would be great, just to keep hanging around. I believe the white one was the baby, so we just kept hanging around. But they were in the next level, so we thought, you know what, if that's the closest we can get to seeing them, then that's great. At least we had an opportunity to be able to see them and take some pictures and some videos. I wanted to see them in the background. So I was like, you know what, let me take some pictures and videos with them in the background. However, as we walking on that ledge or level to exit out, they decided to keep walking kind of like towards the same direction we were, but there were stairs there. And sure enough, they came right down the stairs. So you cannot touch, you're not supposed to touch them. They have the right of way at any given time. That's their home, that's their rights, that's their freedom. Don't touch them. But there's always one. There's always one. And people were shouting, don't touch, don't touch. But there's always one. And everyone is screaming, don't touch, don't touch. Somewhere in English, somewhere in Spanish. But nope. Does she listen? No, she was not listening. Because they already told you, don't touch the animals. So that little one went through. We were still taking pictures. Everyone's stopping. So you see all these people here. Imagine what it looks like during the high season. And this is, like I said, this is low season, and this is super early in the morning. So you can imagine what it looks like doing high season in the afternoon. It's probably like a gazillion people. I'm just grateful I went during the low season, and it wasn't like the best of weather, but nonetheless, it was still beautiful, just gorgeous. Look at this little baby. Oh, I just thought the baby was so cute. I'm not sure if it was a male or female, but I just know it was cute. And I wasn't trying to touch it. I wasn't trying to get too close. Just wanted to take a picture with it. But I wasn't trying to touch the animal. But nonetheless, we were just excited that we got a chance to accomplish everything we wanted to while we were there, including seeing and taking pictures with the llamas. Then you continue exit out, where you have to go up. Once you pass the storage rooms to the right, you will see them. There are actually many of them. You pass them to the right, and you keep going up, and you see everybody. Just so that you know, this place is not accessible by wheelchair or with stroller. I don't think any area in Machu Picchu is accessible by wheelchair or stroller. Nonetheless, this is the walkway that you take that will take you completely out the exit. From there, there's nothing really else to see in terms of the archaeological site. It's just to the left, you're just seeing the beauty of like the mountains and nature, and just listening to the animals, and you'll see some fruit trees as you exit out. From there, of course, you cannot go back. You have to keep moving forward. You can't go back to actually see anything else. But it's still beautiful. It's still nice to see as you continue walking and just communing with nature. You will see as we pass the gentleman further out, this is where the people are. Now, I'm not sure what that person over there is for. I know some people were speaking to them. I'm not sure they were asking for information or whatever it is. But once you exit out, if you are one of the people who hiked up, you will be hiking back down, because you cannot buy tickets for anything at the archaeological site. You have to purchase your tickets ahead of time. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, also for the buses. Therefore, you hike up, you will be hiking yourself back down. I don't know how long the hike can take, but I do know it takes about 20 something to 30 minutes to drive up. You go online, you wait for the next available bus, and then again, you need your ticket if you are taking the bus to scan your ticket to get on the bus that will take you back into the town of Machu Picchu. Now, again, as you can see, the buses, everybody has to wait their turn kind of situation because the roads are not big. They're pretty small. They kind of listen out for each other. They're not rushing, but they're not going slow either. You do have some, at least when we went in December 2025, they had some road work that was being done. I'm not sure how often they do have those or if it's a particular time of the year, but I do know that they had some work that was being done. People were still going up and down. It was early enough for us. I believe people who were hiking come super early, so we did not get a chance to see them going up. However, I'm not sure if this is the area they allow people to hike up on, whether going up or down. I'm not sure if this is just strictly for the buses and that they have an area for people to hike on. I'm not sure. But I do know that people do hike to get up there, and they do have like an instructor or a tour guide guiding them to Machu Picchu from Cusco. Again, it takes, I believe there's tons of videos out there of people showing you what they do in those hikes, because you do have to sleep out and so forth. Again, not my life. You see I missed out, but there's a bus that was coming up, so we had to look. Anyway, so then when we arrived, we had to stop for lunch because it was lunchtime by the time, because we spent hours in there. It was lunchtime by the time we come down. You do have tons of restaurants to choose from. The one we went to is called Chulos. They have an upstairs and downstairs. We were in the upstairs part, and we were sitting right next to where there was like no windows there. So I don't know what they do when it rains because there's nothing else there. But right, you can hear the river is super, super loud. So you can really hear it. The drink that we were having was a passion fruit drink. It was very tart, but I loved it because I love passion fruit. So therefore I was drinking. We were drinking that. All three of us ended up getting it, and it was really good. It looks beautiful, doesn't it? But it was really, really good too, but a little bit tart. I did have a meal with some kind of chicken on there. It's a well-known meal for Peruvian, but I don't know it. My friend had some kind of, I believe it was pork, and I tasted it. It was actually pretty good. I said if I didn't get a chicken, I would have gotten that, and I would not be dissatisfied with either one. We did get one dessert, and that was like hot brownie. It was really warm brownie with ice cream, and it was really good. So I would highly recommend Chulos. And afterward, we just went and we shopped. We enjoyed ourselves because by that time we had already done everything we can do within the town of Machu Picchu, and the archaeological site was the last thing that we needed to do. So it was great. So don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to click on the notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video of what we did in Lima, because we went there for New Year's. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.